On this all-new episode of Knght Life, we get a little spooky inside info on what keeps some of your golden knights up at night.
Getting scared behind a door or something, I don't like that. But it's funny. I do it to everybody, but I wouldn't like getting it.
And we spin the much-anticipated wheel of VGK Roulette for the first time this season.
There's Ashley trying to get in on it.
Yeah, there you go.
I feel this is like the TMZ version here, where you get the whole office staff in behind.
Plus, we sit down with the two newest assistant captains on the squad.
It's a huge honor to anytime you get a chance to wear a letter, and wearing one here, there's so many deserving guys, so I take a lot of pride.
All of that and more.
Perfect out of the gates for the VGK.
This week on Knght Life.
Welcome into this Halloween edition of Knght Life, where they brought us to what might be the creepiest place in Vegas, Escape It. Maybe because the Golden Knights are off to a scary good start to the season as they look to repeat as Stanley Cup champions. But what will that take? The Four Horsemen got together in this season's first installment of VGK Roulette. No clowning around, guys.
Back for a 27th consecutive year, it's VGK Roulette. Random questions. We go around the horn, and we will start the debut episode for 2023-24 with this. Who and what will it take to repeat as a Stanley Cup champion for the Vegas Golden Knights? Dave.
27 years of this, Mal. It seems like dog years. You know, 1 year to a human, 7 years to a dog. I think a lot of what we've seen so far as we sit here, which is their depth. Their depth has shown through. They've been able to overcome a lot of injuries here early in the regular season. So I think that'll be a big key for them. Pretty airtight defense, especially early in these first few games. But I think down the road, it will be their health. They battled injuries. They were killed with injuries 2 years in a row. I think sometimes that gets lost in the shuffle. Last year, they were able to get everyone back for the playoffs. I think that'll be the big part of it down the road.
Long list there. Shane?
Well, that is a long list. It takes a lot of health. I'll simplify it. They need to make playoffs, and then they need to win 16 playoff games. That's how you win the Stanley Cup. How's that,
Seriously?
Dave?
That was great. That was great. That was awesome.
Does that do it for you, Dave? You go through everything.
I like that. I like it. That was great.
Wow.
That's the Shane Knighty answer whenever we ask him these types of questions. That was a typical similar answer. In managing emotions, they played at such a high to win the Stanley Cup, and I think they're not really emotionally sharp or hungry right now. A competitive instinct drags them into the fight.
I've never done this before, but Shane, would you like a mulligan or a breakfast ball?
I thought mine was the best answer, to be honest. We know they're competitive. They're one of the top teams. That's what they need to do.
Yep.
Of the 16 teams that made the playoffs last year, which one misses? Knighty?
Seattle. I just think what they caught last year was something special for that team, and I just think it's going to be a drop-off this year. They're not off to a great start, still a lot of hockey left, but that said, that's kind of the team I see with the drop-off this year.
A Winter Classic shot across the bow. Gary?
Florida. I think they were the weakest team that Vegas played last year. They've got a ton of injury problems. There's things about that roster and staff that I don't believe in. Florida misses.
Yeah, sadly, I'm going to go with the same thing. Florida, not off to a good start. Bennett out, Montour out, Ekblad out. Barely made the playoffs last year. Short off season with no reward. Wouldn't surprise me at all if they miss it this time around.
A couple of votes for the Stanley Cup finalists. Best or worst contract from the offseason, Gary Lawless?
Actually, the best or worst trade / contract, and I'm going to go with the Erik Karlsson trade. I don't know how that works in Pittsburgh. They've already got Chris Letang. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to cause more problems there than help.
I have the full authority to change the questions on the fly. I did that. You just got docked a point because you went off the board.
Can I just pick my own question now?
Yeah. You go ahead. It's free for all now.
Let Dave go.
The questions were emailed to us. That was in the question. That's the answer I put together.
full authority to change it on the fly. Listen and answer. Dave.
No.
Mallard can barely read. That's the problem. So I'll go with trade/contract. How's that? Alex DeBrincat in Detroit. Goes to the Red Wings. I don't know if it's going to make I don't think they're going to make the playoffs and end a 7-year drought, but they are looking to build this with good young players. He's one of those. Pretty good first line with Larkin and Raymond. Of course, they have Mo Seider on defense. Not a bad deal for a team that's trying to turn things around here.
Well, I don't know if it counts, but I think the Dahlin deal is just outrageous for what they gave him already. $11 million a year in Buffalo. I know it's kind of a late offseason one, but still should count. And yeah, terrific. I think he's going to be a terrific defenseman, but just tying up that much money now when they've got so many, they're building youth. They're going to have to hand out money over the years. They better hope that cap continues to raise.
Good, solid performance by Knotty. A bounce back there because he actually answered the question that was put to him. Final one.
Yeah, it wasn't trade. You didn't ask about trades. But
I know.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
Last one, bonus question. Among this group, knowing that Paul Cotter bought a new fedora and wore it on the gold carpet and looked fantastic, who would be able to pull off the fancy old traditional hat the best? Let's start with Dave.
Well, Gary, I don't think it's too much of a stretch. One of his new costumes here and get the fedora, get a feather out of the thing, strutting down the gold carpet, waving to people, signing the books. I think that's right up his alley.
Well, he said too much of a stretch. The hat's going to have to for Gary, but that said, he certainly should. It would work best on him, right? Usually it's the older guys I think of that wear it. And I would have said Dave, but I bought him one for his rock concerts. He never wears them.
Yeah, definitely me. Without question. I'm bald. I need the protection. I am the fedora hat wearer, for sure.
Totals are in. Shane Knotty, solid bounce back. Good, solid win out of the gate. Attaboy. Nicely done. Just for following
Good
rules.
start.
Nothing to do with content, just because he follows the rules. Out of the gate, 1-0. You two other guys need some work.
A lot.
Host needs to read the right questions.
There's Ashley trying to get in on it.
Yeah, there you go.
I feel this is like the TMZ version here, where you get the whole office staff in behind.
He's not on camera enough.
Ashley might be in next week.
On host.
Time for our first break here on Knght Life. Coming up next, we sit down with one of the newest assistant captains, William Karlsson, to discuss the new patch on his jersey.
Keek sitting next to me in the locker room and he's like, oh, the left shoulder is a bit heavy today, huh?
Keep it locked, right here on Scripps Sports. Welcome back to Knght Life.
Welcome back to October's final episode of Knght Life, where we know that it takes skill to win a Stanley Cup championship. But you don't instill fear into the opponent without some seriously good leadership. So even though it is spooky season, our very own Gary Lawless gave us no tricks, just treats when he put pen to paper to take a look at some of the very best leaders in NHL history.
It's the most treasured letter in all of sports, the captain's C in hockey. Other sports have captains and leaders, but in hockey, the captain is distinguished. Wear the C or the alternates A, and every fan of your team knows it. From Mike to the NHL, a signal to all when the coach announces a player as captain. There's nothing like coming to the rink to find a letter has been sewn onto your jersey. A true badge of honor that your teammates and coaches have recognized you as a leader. Mark Messier's glare and guarantee, John Beliveau's class, Bobby Clark's competitive streak and lopsided grin, George Armstrong's quiet but firm leadership, Steve Yzerman restoring Red Wings glory, Zdeno Chara's towering presence, Jonathan Toews morphing into Captain Sirius and delivering 3 cups to Chicago, Mario Lemieux lifting up a franchise on and off the ice, Sid the Kid following in his footsteps, Wayne Gretzky turning Edmonton into the city of champions while rewriting the record book, Phil Esposito, captain in Canada with hockey's most impassioned speech,
We did it because we love our country, and not for any other reason, no other reason.
In hockey, leadership is worn with pride for all to see. Mention a captain, and the C on the jersey comes to mind. Theirs is the right to be first to hoist the Stanley Cup. Mark Stone's hat-trick in a deciding Game 5 win over Florida made the Vegas captain a leader for the ages. Game after game, he leads with his play and his emotion. Not one for big speeches, Stone lets his stick and his expressions of joy do the talking. William Karlsson and Jack Eichel joined the Golden Knights leadership group this season as alternates along with Alex Pietrangelo. Pietrangelo captained the St. Louis Blues to his Stanley Cup before arriving in Nevada. He's an alpha male who plays in all situations. Fierce and skilled, he's one of the best at his position and a player bent on winning. Karlsson is tireless in his pursuit of a complete game. He can check, he can score. In all three zones, few are as effective as Wild Bill. Jack Eichel is a superstar with elite offensive skills who also shows a grinder's will to keep the puck out of his own net. It's been said about the Golden Knights that every player in the room has leadership qualities. Every player is a captain in his own right. Where leadership is concerned, the cup runneth over in Vegas.
The Golden Knights are no exception to having incredible leadership inside the locker room. It starts at the top with Mark Stone and is bolstered by the countless veterans who have seen it all in this league. This year, however, two of the VGK were given the new honor of assistant captain. One of those, original misfit William Karlsson, sat down with Darren Millard to discuss the importance of leadership inside the VGK.
What was the reaction like when you first looked down and saw that letter?
It was cool. It's cool. There's something right there, you know. And then Keek sitting next to me in the locker room. He's like, "Oh, that left shoulder is a bit heavy today, huh?" So, yeah, no, it's a cool feeling.
You guys are used to having all kinds of experiences, but there's got to be a sense of pride for you.
Yeah, for sure.
You can't just shrug that off and go, just another day.
No, of course, no. I feel honored and privileged to wear it, and that the management can, you know, trust me wearing it and setting a good example going forward.
What makes Mark an effective captain?
Well, first of all, when he talks, everyone listens, so that's a great thing for a captain, and everyone has a tremendous amount of respect for him. And he leads on the ice, which I think is the most important part. And every day, every game, he's always one of the best. So,
what's the hardest part about being part of the leadership group, wearing a letter? Is there one?
So far, it's been.
You don't have to change anyway.
No,
you don't have to
like,
hold people accountable.
No, I try to be myself. I don't want to change the way I am, because I mean I got the letter for a reason, so I'm not going to change who I am or how I play. So
I'm sure you've played with people that have tried to be outside their personality and it doesn't go over well. Those would be the people that you would.
Yeah, maybe that's a mistake people have been doing in the past, that they try to change who they are, but they really shouldn't, because, like I said, they got the letter for a reason, and that's them being themselves.
How would you describe your leadership style?
I mean, it's more of showing it on the ice, and you know, always give 100% and stuff like that. Simple things, but you know, always doing the work.
Time for another break here on Knght Life. Coming up next, we sit down with the other newly minted assistant captain, Jack Eichel.
I think just my experience, having the opportunity to wear letters in Buffalo has given me some good perspective on it and some good experience, and hopefully learn some things and can be better moving forward.
Stay with us right here on Knght Life. Welcome back to Knght Life.
Okay, so one more announcement. Obviously, with Riley leaving, we have to replace his A, and there's been a lot of thought put into it, and I've talked to different guys about it. At the end of the day, Jack and Carly are going to split the A, home and road. I think it's important that we continue to acknowledge the guys that were the original Knights. So Carly obviously is one of them. Age groups, whatnot. Jack is a younger guy, I think is important as well. So anyway, I don't think you need a letter on your sweater to lead in this locker room. That's what we're going to go with. I wanted to let you guys know. That's it.
The Golden Knights' run to the Stanley Cup Championship saw the emergence of Jack Eichel. Once a captain in Buffalo, he came to Vegas looking for a new start. He's done more than just that. He's quickly established himself as one of the leaders in the locker room, as well as one of the top talents on the ice each and every night.
You were a captain in Buffalo. Is this been here, done that, now that you've got an A?
Not necessarily. It's a huge honor to anytime you get a chance to wear a letter, and wearing one here, there's so many deserving guys, so I take a lot of pride in that. And I think just my experience having the opportunity to wear letters in Buffalo has given me some good perspective on it and some good experience, and hopefully learn some things and can be better moving forward.
How have you changed? How has your perspective adjusted from Buffalo to now?
You just get older, more experience. You go through some more things. For me, I just try to be myself every day, work hard on the ice, be myself off the ice, keep things pretty light, but when it's time to focus, try and do that.
Are you a born leader, or do people learn to lead?
I think you have the natural ability to, guys gravitate towards you, and you just try and be yourself. I think that's the biggest thing. Obviously our captain, I'd probably say he's a pretty natural born leader. Stoney's tremendous. He's a guy that I've learned a lot from, watching him every day, watching how he handles himself. But there's a lot of guys in here that are leaders. There's guys in here without letters that are leaders. So this is a very easy locker room to be a part of.
When you watch Mark, what makes him an effective leader?
His demeanor. He relates to every guy in the locker room. He does so much stuff behind the scenes that people don't see. Obviously his play, his emotion, you see it on the ice, what he does to drive our team. He's just a team first guy, selfless, so high character, but he's just an unbelievable guy. He's an awesome guy away from the rink. He's an awesome guy at the rink, and we're lucky to have him.
What's the hardest part about being a leader?
I don't really think there's a hard part if you're just being yourself. Like I said, being in this locker room, it's pretty easy. There's a lot of guys that come in here and lead every day, and it's not the same guys over and over. We have guys that have played a lot of hockey in this league, and but even some of our young guys. I mean, there's so many different personalities, and everyone kind of has their own way of going about things, and I think that's what makes it special.
How did you find out?
Bruce told me at the end of training camp.
Was it a sit-down thing in his office, or just in passing?
No, I just pulled Carl and I aside. I had a conversation with him this summer about it. He had asked me my thoughts. Obviously, I was super excited that they were considering me, and I told him it would be a huge honor. And then, he just pulled Carl and I aside at the end of camp and said, Carl, you'll be the alternate captain at home, and Jack, you'll be on the road. So, obviously a huge honor, and I'm very proud of that.
One final break here on Knght Life. Coming up next, the yearly heated debate surrounding candy corn continues on.
It's criminal.
You ever tried it?
No, I don't want to try it. Yeah, that's criminal. That's disgusting. Ew.
Keep it locked. Knght Life on Script Sports will be right back. Welcome back to Knght Life. With Halloween right around the corner, we thought we'd check in with some of your favorite players about what kind of candy they're on the lookout for this spooky season.
Favorite Halloween candy?
I like a good little Snicker. Those mini Snickers, they're really good. I like the Rockets, candy Rockets.
Reese's Peanut Butter Cups are pretty good. Probably Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Kit Kat.
Kit Kat, white chocolate. I'm gonna go Canadian Coffee Crisp.
Candy corn, yes or no?
No.
No.
What is candy corn? What's candy corn?
Nah, never really done it for me.
Candy corn, yes or no?
No.
Why?
Gross.
Ew. No.
What has been your favorite ever Halloween costume?
Shrimp taco.
Probably a Grinch. I went as a Grinch a couple years ago. I liked it. My wife and I were the Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears in the denim outfit.
What is your biggest fear?
Well, I don't like getting like spooky and stuff.
Describe getting spooky.
Like getting like scared like behind a door or something. I don't like that, but it's funny. I do it to everybody, but I wouldn't like getting it.
Sharks.
Huh, snakes?
Ghosts. Ghosts.
Me coming down the ice.
How do you feel about clowns?
Don't mind them.
You don't?
No.
Clowns are clowns.
I don't like them really. They're crazy.
Clowns, not a fan of clowns either. They're just creepy and weird.
I hate them. Hate them.
A big thank you to Escape It for having us out to get us in the Halloween spirit for this episode of Knght Life. But before you get to the pumpkin carving, we want to leave you with some of the best images of the week. And in the meantime, we are going to try to find our way out of here. See you next week, I hope.
Puck drop and underway. Chasing shot turned away by Hill. The rebound got stopped too. Here's Korczak with a rush shot score! His first in the NHL to tie the game. Long shot score! It's William Karlsson on the deflection. Marches up, pulls up and scores. Snapped in low stick side. Jonathan Marchessault with a blast. Has room shot. Save Thompson. Rebound and what a stop on Perfetti. Around the corner, shot blocked by Jones. Loose up, score! William Karlsson on the backhand. Golisar into the zone with Waugh. Right off the bat, and he scores! Otter back on his blades with speed.